America, and welcome to Invent America, because America invents.
This episode of Invent America TV is brought to you by America's Inventor Lady and Home Talk USA. Home Talk is a proud member of the King's Broadcasting Network and has been bringing to you the best of America's home-based product innovation since 1998. This segment of Invent America TV is brought to you by the law offices of R.P. Baraska. RPB law offices have been bringing corporate-level legal expertise to the independent inventor community for more than 20 years. For all your inventing legal needs, trust rpblawoffices.com.
Welcome, America. This is the Invent America show right here on the Home Improvement Broadcasting Network. And I'd like to welcome right now my partner in crime. I want to get her in here. We have a lot to discuss. Don't want to waste no time here. The inventor lady herself, Miss Rita Crompton. Rita, new week. You know, I like to say a new bad channel, a new bad time, new bad channel. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. Absolutely. So it's great to be here. And, you know, as always, it's like, you know, there's so much going on. Where do we start?
It's like, okay, boy, we just finished doing the show. It's like, man, you can't wait till we get back on. Like you said, we just got so much information, and we do have a great show lined up for our guests. And but I know you wanted to talk about this big black abyss. It's becoming real complicated, and maybe you can clarify things. So what do you mean by that phrase?
You know, I help inventors get from mind to market. So I don't do just radio. We actually are out there working with inventors every day and cool new products. So it's like every phase, you know, an inventor, everybody wants to be an inventor. You know, there isn't a kid in America that doesn't hear about, you know, America invents. And it's like, oh, I'd love to invent this. And, you know, it's already out there. Let's think of something new. But when you actually think you've got the new idea, that big black abyss, the first one you hit, is the USPTO. It's like, what kind of animal is this? And even I've talked to people at the USPTO, says it's like an octopus. Well, I don't know any octopus that does not live in a big black deep ocean. And so then, you know, they get through that one. It's like, okay, you know, no blood drawn. I'm handling this. Well, then the next one is making the prototype. It's like, holy cow, how many different generations of this do I need to pay for? Well, you know, sometimes several, sometimes you do well and you get lucky the first time around. But then the biggest black abyss is the marketing. It's like, oh, shoot me now, because now the blood starts to flow. And, you know, it's a wonderful experience for any kid that starts out with the invention convention at school, and they get to college and they've got something that mom and dad are going to pay for, and then they get to be the adult and say, I have been inventing things and solving problems all of my life. It's like, this is so cool, because now they actually get to experience it. But I tell you what, the first time you make a sale, the first time you see your product on a shelf or on somebody else's website, it is just like, yes, we've made it. And you know, it's funny, because I wrote murder mysteries for years, for over a decade. I've got 3 of them published. And the first time I saw a lady on an airplane reading one of my books and I did not know her, it's like, yeah, there we go.
You made some great points. And, you know, if you're just tuning in to the show, Home Talk, the first hour, we had a special broadcast. And it's kind of tying this in what we're going to talk about today. We had 2 companies on. One was called Atlas Tools, the host of the Chairman Show, the Made America Show, which is going to be the 3rd hour. But we wanted to, he was filling in to do Atlas Tools, because people don't realize that the chairman actually owns a company. So a great American company manufacturer that's been in business since 1918. And then we had Aztec Washer, who's been in business since 1965. But the point I want to make is the longevity of these companies. They have a successful blueprint to last Now, this is not privately owned companies. These are family owned companies that withstand generational survival here. And so it kind of ties in what we're talking about today, is because now you have the new guard, new companies, new inventors that you're giving them the structure to get a business in the market, but now we have to try to give them a structure to do survival, to survive and not go under. So I thought it'd be great that I did a show on that, and they gave us some great tips. And I do welcome everyone to go to our archives at Home Talk USA and listen to that. And they got some great pointers. And it's to have longevity, to survive all the ups and downs. And I think that ties into what you're talking about, huh, Rita?
It does. And I mean, I've talked to Zach as well, and asked him his family story. And one of the things that he really talked about was the fact that you've got to be paying attention to the marketplace, and you've got to be flexible, because the way the company looked when his grandfather started, it is not the way it is now. They had to flex with the times and the demand and change product lineups. And so it's really interesting when we look at Packwell Manufacturing. And she's going to be a guest on the Made in America show in probably October or November. Her grandfather invented the blister pack. And now she, the granddaughter, is the CEO of the company, and they do packaging for American-made products in America. So, there's a lot of things that are going on that we are trying to share with America. And it all starts with innovation. It all starts with that problem that people see. We've got Chelle Fuhrer on today and Wendi Short on today. And both of them, they saw a problem, they grabbed the problem, they solved the problem, and they've gone through these different black abysses, all right, and come out the other side. Yeah. And they're both at different points right now on, the problems that, dealing with getting a product into the marketplace. But it's a fascinating evolution that people go through. And boy, to hang on to it, they've got to have some, longitude, latitude, and every other kind of attitude to hang on to that company.
Well, and you make some good points, technology. So, basically what has happened, now can you picture 1918? You basically didn't have machinery, or what they call the Henry Ford assembly line. You didn't have that, really.
Right.
You had to, so you go from an assembly line, then you go to, laser, then you go to 3D, and now it's AI. So you see you hit it right on the head, and you have to be able to adjust to, and then the big point that these two companies made, you had the China invasion in the 70s.
Yeah.
And we all know about the China invasion that happened. Everybody just shipped everything overseas. So it didn't matter how cheap you were or assembly, that the American manufacturing decided to outsource everything to China. Now, how did that work out? Well, they're coming back.
Yeah.
So it was a China invasion along with all these things, and you wake up one day and 70% of your customers are gone overnight.
Yeah.
Overnight. Yeah, that's tragedy.
Yeah.
And then, but you know what? I'm going to tell you this, and how you feel about this, Rita. I was in a discussion on Friday, around discussion when I was talking to a consultant, picking his brain, very business guy. He's got more degrees in economics and business administration. I'm not going to mention his name, but we had a great conversation. And you know what he said? And I agree with him 100%. He says, you know what? This is what you need to understand to survive. 80% of survival, 80% of sales that you're going to do, it's going to be because of relationships. Simple as that. They ain't going to care how high you are. They ain't going to care if you're doing this, you're that. People are starting to do business with the people that they like, they trust, and they're going to start figuring out how to keep you as a partnership as your company and the customer themselves.
Well, and
relationships. Simple as that.
I agree, and that's why we tell the stories. so that our consumers that are listening to this say, I liked what that person is doing. I like the product. I'm going to go look for the product. Telling the stories of the American inventor, because you see a product on a shelf, you don't know the story. You don't have room on the packaging to put the story. It's not unless you listen to them or you see them on our YouTube TV channel. You're listening to them on, it's like, wow.
All right. Well, let's go ahead and take a short break. We're going to be back right here with the Invent America show with Rita Crompton, the Inventor Lady, and the Cajun contractor, Michael King. We'll be right back. Y'all come back now. You hear?
This segment of Invent America TV is brought to you by SearchQuest Patent Search. SearchQuest provides for a comprehensive patent search that searches the entire world and not just the U.S. Patent Office. Make sure that before you spend those big bucks having a patent written, you've done your due diligence by getting a comprehensive patent search. Use SearchQuestPatents.com for all your patent search needs. They scour the world for you.
And thank you so much for being with us for this episode of Invent America, because America invents. We have been problem solvers for hundreds of years, and we will continue to solve the problems of the American consumer. So my guest right now is Chelle Fuhrer, and she is the inventor of Liberté. And Chelle, tell our listeners, what is it that you invented?
Well, Liberté is a combination of a handcuff key, a cutting blade, a tungsten tip, and a GPS tracking system.
All right. So it is a safety device. So,
Yes,
all those pieces there. And one of the essences of this is that it's easy to conceal. So, go through a scenario where a lady needs to use this, or a child.
in the event a woman is being taken in an abductive situation, once they get them into a vehicle, a van, which normally, the big old white van stories that we've heard our whole lives, they are then either bound by tape, zip ties, twine, and handcuff keys. So what we did is we designed all of this so that in the event of this situation and the hands are behind the back, it's a clandestine tool that can be hooked to your clothing so that you have easy access, but you're still able to hold on to it in a dire situation. If they rip off your attire, you still have access to it because they will not see that it is there. At that point, you can cut, you can unlock, and the tungsten, if you're able to get out of that and there's a window, you can break that window and get out. And so that helps you in your escape. The GPS system will show where you are. And if you leave it behind, they know your last point of where you are or where you were.
I mean, this is the kind of product where you hope you never need it. But by golly, if you do, you want to make sure you have it.
That is correct.
And so the cool thing about this is, it's small, easy to use, easy to understand, easy to train someone how to use it or show them how. All right. It's not expensive. And yet it could save a life.
It could save many lives. And as you were saying a few minutes ago about the generations, we have 3 generations that we're coming to visit with you very quickly on. And one of the things that people don't realize is there's 29.9 million people a year who go through an abductive situation.
Wow.
Kids are taken, sometimes by family, but it still allows the other parent to know with the GPS system where they are.
Yes, yeah. So based on, our conversation today, the big black abyss, which big black hole are you dealing with right now?
Well, like you said, the generations, because they just keep coming. So we are ready, to take it and launch it and get it out there for people to see, to save lives. We are looking at in the market to launch the product, to scale distribution, to find someone to help us get it out into the world and start saving these precious lives.
Well, and you and I have talked about, the idea of licensing so that somebody else does the heavy lifting for you. But part of that too is that, now they've got a mass market already that they deal with. And so it's so much easier for an inventor to say, okay, Mr. Licensee, you take this because you already have access to the markets that we want and that will help the consumer be able to get this product in their hands sooner rather than later. But for the inventor to do it all on their own, it's a tough road because, with a licensee, buyers already trust them. With an independent inventor, they don't even know you. They don't even know you're there. So one, you've got to train them that you're out there. You've got to let them know who you are. But a licensee goes in and says, "Oh, we've got this cool new product," and you're thinking, "Holy cow, yeah, that's great." So it does make a difference when you're dealing with getting the product out there. Who is taking it and making the pitch?
And one of the things with the market is doing our research. $3.3 billion was spent in 2024 on self-defense products.
Wow.
On tracking solutions, 4.1 billion, smart jewelry, 36.2 billion, and it's growing at a rate of 25 to 30% increase a year.
And part of it is just, where we are now with crime and, security issues and everything, people are more and more aware of what's going on and what they've got to be careful of. So what we look at then is being able to say, okay, here's the device. This is the little one, if they take you, a woman, and you've got a device in your purse, well, it doesn't do you any good if it's still on the sidewalk and you're in the back of a van.
Right. And so that was our main, when we first started this out, it was very important to have a clandestine camouflage tool
Yeah,
that
absolutely.
the abductor could not see.
Consumers, if you're looking for this product, pay attention to our Invent America website because we will be listing the progress that Michelle has. And as soon as she's got inventory ready for sale, you can believe we will have her back on again to let you know where to go find it. But you know what? Go out there, look for the different videos and everything, give her the thumbs up so that she knows you're there and you are waiting for this product. And if you're an inventor, get in touch. We can help you find good service providers, point you in the right direction. And you know what? If you're in one of those big black abysses, we'll help you get out of it. So stick with us, everybody. We are going to go and pay some bills. Michelle, thank you so much for being with us today. We look forward to watching your progress on this.
Thank you for having me.
You're welcome. We will be right back. If you're an inventor or you know an inventor out there who would just like to be able to have a conversation with other inventors, join the Inventors Roundtable. It's free. The meetings are virtual, so you can be anywhere in America and talk to another inventor. And for a lot of folks out there, understanding the process, being able to ask questions, getting good service provider information is critical to the inventing process. So, got questions? Want to join? It's free. inventorsroundtable.org. And thank you so much for being with us for this segment of Invent America, because America invents, and we do it very, very well. This segment is brought to you by Product Quick Start. Noah McNeely is one of our best prototype engineers, gets everything teed up for manufacturing in the best location. And these days, we don't assume anymore it's going to be China. Yeah. Anyway, so my guest right now is Wendi Short, and she has just got her first shipment in of the Float No More. And, I was thinking about this, Wendi, you do have inventory, you do have product that you're getting ready to move. And what an awesome Christmas present this would make.
Yes, just in time, in time.
You are. So tell everybody, what is Float No More?
So Float No More is a patent pending and an innovative weight belt that anchors its users in place in a hot tub. It allows them to have a more enjoyable and relaxing experience in their hot tub. So, when you get into a hot tub, some of us float away. We have to brace our hands against something or our feet against something or wrap our arms on the back of the hot tub. With my product, you're not going to have to anchor yourself or sit on your legs or do any of that kind of stuff.
Oh,
So
you mean you get to actually relax when you're in the hot tub?
you do. Those of us that struggle to sit comfortably in a hot tub, I've always had this problem, so that's why I designed it. So we don't float away in loungers or deep seats, things like that.
And I've shared that problem with you forever, and that's why I bought one. So everybody, you can buy a Float No More. The website is, guess what? floatnomore.com. And you can go out, you can order one, and she can sell one at a time, but she would rather sell you two at a time. So get one for you and your favorite partner in the hot tub, because we don't generally sit in the hot tub by ourselves unless you're in therapy, right?
That is correct. That's correct. I've had a couple of repeat customers. They realize it's good and it works, so they come back and they've ordered another one. So I'm always excited about that.
And don't tell anybody I said this, but when I sit in the hot tub, I like to have a glass of champagne with me. It's a lot easier if I'm not floating away to drink it.
Exactly. Exactly. Exactly.
So, what has been your challenge? I mean, we talked about the big black abyss. All right. So, what, no pun intended, what pool are you floating around in with no float no more because you're sinking?
Well, I hope not to sink, that's for sure. But the plan is to work into stores, perhaps like the Targets or the Walmarts of the world. I'm toying around with perhaps selling on Amazon. I'm not there yet. But those are things that I want to get my word out on the products on the market. I also plan, I know this is a hot commodity, to plan to sell it. The hot tub shows, the spa shows that come up in different areas. So, but my ultimate goal is to license this product.
That would be awesome. And you went with us to ASD Market Week the first time 2 years ago.
I did.
And last year, all right, when folks went, everyone who had inventory, they didn't take all their inventory. Some of the stuff was heavy, but everyone who had inventory sold everything they had.
Oh, awesome.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
It's in
Then
March, Wendi.
The ASD Marketplace be a great place.
It was really interesting that last year, everyone who had inventory sold everything they had.
That's amazing. That is
And
amazing.
and I think some of that was because of the people that we had working representing us at ASD Market Week did a really good job selling, the fact that we were there. And so we had a busier experience last year than we had the year before. But the storytelling, all right, and getting the testimonials and getting the word out. Where can people find your story besides just the website?
Lots of places. Again, as you say, I am on my website under floatnomore.com. I also am on TikTok and Instagram. If you just search Float No More, those will come up. And actually, thanks to you, I've done a little review and an interview earlier, which is also located on a link separately on my website, Float No More. And the last thing is, I guess I should say this too. I just built a LinkedIn presence. So that'll be really helpful when I go out to the hot tub dealers and the accessory, representatives.
It really is. And when people start seeing you coming up on the TikToks and the different sites, and I want that. I want that. And it really makes a difference. We've seen, like everything else, all right, marketing has changed and opportunities have changed and they continue to shift. And right now, being able to use social media wisely, which can be a big black abyss of its own, and learning to say, okay, I'm going to focus on this one here and I'm going to focus on this, rather than trying to do all of them and doing them poorly.
Right. It is a learning curve, so to speak. So those are the ones
Yes.
I've chosen so far.
Excellent, excellent. You're doing a really good job. Now, when you
Thank you.
got caught in the tariff stuff, you had, it's like, okay, let's get these orders, and it's like, oh, no, hold it, wait. All
Yeah,
right, you do have it now. What happened? What did you go through? I mean, that's a big black abyss all of its own.
that was horrible.
Can you
Yes.
elaborate a little bit?
It was really horrible. There you go. There's your elaboration.
There you
No.
go. There you go.
No,
Give me an adjective.
I did get my product trapped, so to speak, for a little bit within the tariffs because I did choose in the beginning to have this made in China. I will not do it a second time. It was a little bit too hard. But what happened was the president gave some sort of a window. It was like a 90-day window to where he lifted that crazy tariff on China. So I said, hurry, 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 put it on the boat. I'm ready, I'm ready, I'm ready. Let's just go. So I was able to float over on that and stay afloat on that little window that he gave. And then once I received it, you had to get it on the truck and then get it to where I store it and then unload it. And, it was a lot of work. It was actually a lot of work versus going with a 3PL person that would
Yeah.
just go there. But I chose that myself, so I kind of knew what I was getting into.
So, well, you won, you got through, all right,
Mm.
and now you're floating comfortably in a warehouse, so that people can go and buy the product.
Yes.
The steps that you went through to determine, all right, the materials that you were going to use, who helped you with that?
Oh, a gentleman named. You want me to just do the whole story?
Just put it out there, honey. Put it out there. Yeah.
Fruition Labs, John Thompson. You put me in touch with him. It feels like ancient years ago, like a long time ago. And he is one who vetted through different prototypes and, hey, did you think about this? And he was able to get manufacturing folks that were able to make it for me. So he had the reviews. Or I had the contacts.
The contacts, yeah. I mean, I've known him for a long time, and he is a good guy. He's helped multiple inventors get through, and he does. Every person that I know who helps inventors get through that prototype stage, they've got different sweet spots and different things that they're good at. And yours was specific because you had a textile. And so, when somebody says, oh, we need a mold or we can do it with rapid prototype, you could not.
Mm-mm. No.
And,
it's like I needed a seamstress.
Exactly. And so that was one of the reasons why John was a good go-to on that, was because he was able to work with the textiles, and not every prototype person can.
Yes, he's been valuable, really valuable. And he's been really valuable in that he helped me work out my landed cost. He helped me work out where I should ship it, who should hold it. If it should be me, this is what you're in for. If it's not, this is what you're in for. And so, now I'm tapping him on the shoulder about marketing ideas. So, he is a wealth of information. He really is.
He's one of the good guys. So, Wendi, thanks so much for being with us today. We are very grateful. And anybody and everybody out there, if you've got a hot tub or you are in therapy and you're supposed to actually be relaxing in the body of warm water, you know what? Float No More, that's your product, and it makes a great Christmas gift. So go get yours today and get one for your best friend as well. Stick with us. We will be right back for our industry expert, Kevin Cody, and FLI Products.
Hi, this is a training pull-up for little boys, and it's a great product to use. It makes it easy for the parent and the child when learning how to potty train. The coolest part about the product is that you don't have to take the child's pants all the way down every time that they need to use the restroom. You can just open this part here, and the child can tinkle through here, and it makes it easy for the parent and the child. It's a great product, and I cannot wait until it hits the market.
And welcome back to this segment of Invent America, because America invents. My industry expert is Kevin Cody. He is the founder, president, CEO, and master of FLI Products, and he helps people place their products and get them out there onto the shelves. Kevin, thank you so much for being with us today. Tell everybody, what is it you do and what do you specialize in?
Well, it's exactly what you just said, really. Thanks for having me today. We come alongside primarily, I would say, small and medium-sized companies to help them bring their products to market. And we do it in a variety of ways and a variety of service levels to do it. But we go all the way from product sort of reinvention or invention altogether and ideation, all the way into bringing the product all the way to market into some of our customers that we deal with today.
Well, give us an idea of some of the products that you have on your you've got a whole bunch on your website. I don't have time for you to list them all, but what are some of the things that you like? As opposed to a new windmill, what do you prefer to see?
Yeah, that's a great question. There's so many great companies out there, especially small inventors that develop great products that when we start to really engage and fall in love with the product, sometimes it's hard to say what you like the most and what you don't. But I can tell you one product that we have enjoyed tremendously is our blade guard. And that's a knife edge guard that covers up a knife blade. And there's so many applications for it professionally and at home that we just enjoy seeing how all of the transformations of the product and the opportunities among all the different types of uses just come to life. And the deeper you dig, the more you find out where the opportunities are that sometimes you had never even thought of.
So give us, our listeners, your website so they know where to go and look for the products that you help manage.
Sure. It's www.fliproducts.com. That particular product is called the Blade Guard. There's a handful of others that are very similar to that in nature, and that we are developing products. What we typically will do is take an anchor like the Blade Guard and then develop around it. And so the Blade Guard was a singular product. And now that we have that and we have been doing successfully with it and finding other opportunities and use cases for it, we're developing all sorts of other products around it, which include other products for chefs, other products for, homemakers, etc.
Well, when you're working with a new product, so, give our consumers, our listeners, an idea of what an inventor goes through to get a product available through the marketing. What are the challenges and the strategies of getting it out there where a consumer can find it?
I've said this a lot of times before, but you have to avoid the shiny objects that get in your way, because oftentimes you kind of will go down a path and then all of a sudden get distracted by something else. And developing a brand just means that you are really focused on doing nothing but that. And I've been accused of this myself. We get so many opportunities that come by. If we don't stay focused on the one singular opportunity that we really want to develop and make the most out of and fell in love with the first time, oftentimes it's just really hard to focus on that. And so the Blade Guard happens to be one that we've just continued to dig and find the use cases. And suddenly people start to come to you. And we just had this happen with Chris Kimball on Milk Street. He's a famous chef, provides tons of recipes. And one of their product development people found us because we were really focused on that particular segment. And lo and behold, we not only developed a version of the Blade Guard for them, but then developed a new leather one. The original Blade Guard was plastic, and they wanted something to fit an ulu knife. And we had the resources to fit, to come up with a solution for an ulu knife in leather. And one thing led to another, and it's just been a great relationship that way.
That's wonderful. I know, I always tell inventors, it's like you need to focus, exactly what you said, on, you know, 1 or 2 platforms that you can move stuff, you can attract people,
Yep.
because they don't know you're there. This is not a, you know, build it and they will come. You know, there's no magic here. You've got to work at it. And for some inventors, it can be a tough road because they get kind of all out there, you know, they're on, you know, a little bit here, a little bit there. And it's like, focus, guys.
Having a strategy is so critical, and it comes all the way from the product itself, obviously, to pricing and marketing and where you want to sell and position and how you want to position your product. And then you have to have a pricing plan that's going to work for all of those different types of retailers that you might sell it into. And so understanding that market and how to get into those retailers is one thing, but having a pricing strategy that matters and doesn't expose you is also really critical.
It is. And so, you know, when you are looking, Mr. and Mrs. Consumer out there, for very cool products, FLIproducts.com is where you want to go and take a look. There's a whole bunch of categories. Kevin has a lot of different types of products. Support American. Go to our local people that are pushing products out there and take a look. We are grateful. And thank you so much for being with us today. All right, Kevin, thank you for participating with us. You've been on several times, and I know we will have you again.
Yes.
And, you know, it's when you are out there and you've got a product, all right, have them get in touch, because we can help with the marketing, the manufacturing, getting the stories out there, and answer questions. You know, you got to stay out of that big black abyss because it can eat you alive. Stick with us. We will be back next week, everybody, for another episode of Invent America. Thanks, everyone, for joining us today. We will be back next week with more stories on getting products from mind to market. We will have new inventors and industry experts. So join us and have a wonderful week.